a lot of control around fights and are pretty good offlaners for SG, which they haven't quite picked up yet. SG are also going to pick up their signature Rubik, which was played pretty well in the 2 games earlier today. And Rubik and Ogre Magi definitely do bring a couple of stuns to the table and could be a pretty strong tri-lane if SG want to run it like that. They played a lot around with making sure that they got good lanes, or the lanes that they wanted in in the first series today, in both games 1 and 2. So maybe SG do a little bit more of that today in the series. It seemed kind of strange that they always wanted to get certain lanes. I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that they were running a Weaver, and they really wanted to make sure that they were getting the matchups that they wanted when they were running that hero. Infamous, they managed to pick up the Warlock this time around, a hero that's been banned out quite a bit by SG as well as some other people. It still has a lot of utility, and a huge chaotic offering can definitely turn around a lot of fights, create some space for the Juggernaut to run around and do some damage. Also maybe allow him to get a reinitiation off. So that's at least one part of Infamous's support duo. So we're going to have to find another one. Also, the Slardar and Juggernaut should work pretty well together, just because the Slardar can put up a lot of control around the fights, and the Corrosive Haze allows Juggernaut to just work a little bit better with the auto attacks that he's doing. Also bring it up to SG as, yep, again we see that the pick and ban timers are kind of messed up right now. The one that is on the screen for the Dire is actually not even being used. Something that annoys me quite a bit, but something that we'll, I guess, have to deal with. SG go with the early Viper. That's something that's usually saved as a 5th pick for them. It gives SG a little bit more time to work against this. But Infamous can very well pick a hero that at least has a more favorable matchup against a Viper. It can be difficult to play a melee against that hero, although SG did do that earlier with the PL. I think SG are just feeling very confident with picking up this hero, and paired up with the Ogre Magi with the Bloodlust might be very strong, but Infamous are able to pick up a Tinker here. So as long as the Viper doesn't zone him out of lane, he's going to have a pretty good start. It's kind of discouraged from going for the high nuke build-up for his first couple of levels, just because Viper's probably going to be able to get the Corrosive skin early and make things a lot more difficult for a Tinker if he would go for that build. So we might see more of an emphasis on March of the Machines, clearing out the wave, making sure that Kataro is able to get a favorable start as a Tinker and create a little bit more space for Infamous as they try to delay SG's push. It's really what this pick is for. They want to make sure that they're just having some kind of answer to this push, because their wave clear right now doesn't really look all that great. And if SG were to push in very quickly, as Infamous know, they've had this strategy employed against themselves before, they need some way to be able to just stall the push. The Clockwork and Darkseer end up getting banned here. So I guess both teams really want that out of the fight, and somehow the Abyssal Underlord gets through the entire draft and is picked up by Infamous. This could be interesting because King Tekka might want to play that hero. I believe that SG thought that with the Slardar getting picked up first, the Underlord wasn't going to be considered as an offlaner. They could play him there. Also could put him as a support, which would be a little bit interesting when paired up with the Warlock. That's actually a really interesting pick here. I'm not sure if Infamous are screwing around or anything with this, since I don't believe I've seen them pick up this hero before. It's been banned out quite a bit. Can be very strong. I think he's got the strangest eyes. I don't really get what they're doing there. Also has a very strange body. It's kind of ugly. But, you know, I'm not going to judge it too hard. It still can be a very good hero and can create some opportunities around the map. A good save for some heroes sometimes if they manage to survive a little bit. So SG down to their last pickup. It's going to have to be a core for them. Probably an offlaner, which a lot of them have been banned out. They actually go for a Jakiro. That's... wow. I'm actually really excited to see this get in the game because SG, it seems like they haven't really gone with a traditional offlaner at all. They could put the Ogre Magi there. He's been played there. Or they could just go offlane Jakiro, maybe put him in the mid lane as well. And then go Viper safe lane and play an aggressive tri-lane. There's lots of different ways that they can do this, and they kind of assure themselves of having a good lane matchup if Infamous don't really get the matchup that favors them. But we're going to have to see how it works out in game number 1 of this best of 3 set. The lower bracket final, the PD Cup between Infamous and SG Esports. So we will get right into it. Checking out our heroes. Already an aggressive start by King as he makes his way over towards the bottom room spot. And he's going to get scouted out by the Slardar, who has a word of his own. So that is King. We have a lot of Kings on the board right now. We've got King Tekka, King RD, King on the Slardar, who I believe is Stinger. So, yeah, we'll see how he does. They're going to play King Tekka on the Underlord. Kind of what I thought when we saw that pickup. So, they'll be playing an offlane Pit Lord and then support Slardar. Might have a little bit longer of a timing on the Blink Dagger. But should still be able to do quite a bit, especially when you have the Pit of Malice slowing the enemy heroes down, giving them the root. Giving them the root. Okay, so we are actually ready to go here. The courier currently has the full null talisman build up for Qatar to have, so he's just maybe waiting a little bit before he got that. SG going with an interesting route here. They're not even smoked up. They're just going to go through the dire jungle a little bit, looking to see if Infamous are going to go around that area. Most likely waiting to get on top of the rune spot, but the Warlock's going to come around the side here and scout out SG, letting Infamous know that there are a couple of heroes in their jungle. But they'll back off for now, go over towards the top rune spot. Should let Infamous know that SG are indeed playing the aggressive tri-lane, something that we're seeing a lot more of in 7.01. Benjaz over towards the rune spot. We'll take one glaive into the back. He stops and we'll take another. And that will secure the top rune for SG. But Infamous are still going to get 2. They get one for King Tekka, one for Tinker, and they'll go over to the lanes now. King making his way, or rather Stinger making his way towards the mid lane. He should be there soon. Viper, I mean, if you want to go on a Viper, now is probably the best time. They've got a good rotation. Slardar coming around the backside, and Viper doesn't know about it at all. He had no vision up the hill. There's going to be a crushing by Slardar, but at this point, he's just trying to harass him out. So a little bit by the Slardar, but Qatar really doesn't have anything to go onto the Viper at all. Meanwhile, Benj has basically been sacked in the top lane. They're going to lift him up even and do a lot more damage over to him thanks to the Lunar Blessing that the Luna has. Just a lot of damage coming out on the Benjaz, and Infamous are going to need to give him a little bit more help. They'll give him the heal from Warlock and all that aggression that we saw into the Viper early. It's basically going to be nullified here with this aggressive triumph for SG. So Slaughter is going to be trying to do a little bit here. He can't get too far in because the Ogre Magi will probably have the advantage for the little bit, but he has gone boots first. King Tekka zoning out the Chikiro at bottom, making him step into the Firestorm there. Lots of damage over time in that lane, and it'll be interesting to see which one actually comes up on top. Stinger coming around the side now. He doesn't even have vision of the Ogre just standing on the top of the high ground, but he goes in on him now. There's going to be a crush. Not a whole lot of follow-up, and they're going on to the tankiest member of this Trident, and just one hit of that club does so much damage over to the Slardar. Benjaz again forced to back away. He's going to get healed up by Warlock, but that cannot continue in this lane. Benjaz definitely having a very difficult time here. Trying to play with the creep aggro as much as possible. Tinker to the high ground, looking for that opportunity to get a laser onto the Viper. Basically the only way that he can do anything in this lane. But Viper should probably get a few denies off here. In bottom, Tavo, one of the main MVPs in the last match against Duop on whichever hero he played. He's going to be on one of my favorites, the Jakiro here. Doing pretty well in the off lane up against King Tekka. Hard to have too big of an advantage right now. Guitar starts to go on the 4DR, puts out the laser, but again, he's got to be careful. He's going for more of the nukes right now. Over at top, we possibly could have some more aggression out on the Benjaz, who's been again forced away from the lane. King going over towards Stinger, but the Sword are usually fast enough to get out of those kinds of situations. HFN, also one of the big proponents of the SG victory in the last series. Fatal Bonds is going to come out, harassing the Luna a little bit. You can see the amount of damage that it's going to do. Probably going to force her through some of her regen. Have to keep an eye on the other lanes as, again, Singer's going to get knocked out with the Lucent Beam at top. Have to be careful of all those creeps, but they're trying to keep it out of tower range, which forces Infamous a little bit further up in the lane than they might like. Underworld getting a little bit low at bottom, but he does safely get away from the Jakiro. Will have some very good damage over time as he continues to get levels in the off lane. Wants to make sure that he keeps the liquid fire up. Makes it very difficult for even heroes like Abyssal Underlord to stay in the lane. Fatal Bonds out on the King. He'll just kind of tank it out, as ogres are probably going to do. And Stinger goes over and steals the bounty rune away from the tri-lane, which is actually pretty big, I would say. SG, when they're in a tri-lane, they're probably going to rely on the bounty runes a lot more. So when the Slayer is able to go around and just take it from them like that, it makes things a lot more difficult in like trying to get levels and such. Jakiro stopping by the shrine. It actually TP's over there from bottom. Something that you can definitely do a lot more since you can TP right on top of the shrine. You can... Oh, is Swarter going to get scattered out here? He goes just in that band. And he's going to go through the jungle right now. Looking for anything that he can do here. King Tekka forced into the trees. He does have a Firestorm up as well as the Pit Malice to go on to Tavo, who's got the lane will continue. King Tekka might think about going over towards the shrine. In fact, he's just about there. But King Tekka's just going to back off for now. Benjaz has actually gotten quite a bit of farm in this lane, even though the Slaughter has been Oh, wow. Sentry Wards just placed down within seconds of each other, and Warlock's going to have to go pretty far for it. They're going to take the Sentry Ward out. So the Radiant one is going to survive. He gets a heal off on himself. Uses a little bit of mana, and he just puts the Observer Ward on the other side, just outside of the Radiant Sentry range. Viper might be thinking about making some more plays around the map, picking up the Illusion Rune for himself. You know, with these lanes, you would kind of expect SU to do a little bit better with them, but as in dominate them, but Infamous are kind of hanging in there right now. Ben Jazz, he's managed to find quite a bit, even taunting the SG side. He's been farming up mostly under his tower, and he's pretty comfortable with it here. Has phase boots up as well, so his crits are 228. Doing quite a bit of damage with that sword. Over on the mid lane. Singer makes his way over there, but again, 40R is just not going to be caught out. Jagir doing pretty well right now, up to Tranquil Boots. And it's still really neither team being aggressive at all. We're still 0-0 at 7 minutes in. Neither team can really find a kill here at all, but King might be caught out. Singer will find him. He's with the Warlock. They're doing a little bit of damage to him, but the Ogre should be completely fine. Benjaz making his way over. Now the Ogre's definitely been caught out. There's a crush. They should have a spin for this as well. Yeah, they'll spin it down and give the first blood over to Benjaz. So finally, the Ogre just way out of position. Eventually gets caught out. And well, Infamous, they really don't seem fazed by the SG lineup at all. And I think this quiet game is definitely going to benefit them. When you have a Jakiro, your damage from the fights might be a little bit decreased. And Viper's been known to fall off as well. It's really SG relying on the Luna, which seems a little bit strange if they're not able to push down towers. Coming around the backside at bottom, or top rather, is going to be the Slider. Omni Slash comes through, looking for HFN. The throw by Rubik actually stuns out Benchaz, meaning that the Luna stays alive. She'll salve up, they turn it around, find the Slider. Now Benchaz has to back away. 4 heroes over to the top lane. There's going to be a TP in by the Underlord. He knows that he has to defend the tower. Benchaz, he's not going to be stunned out. King deciding that he would rather the Juggernaut just go to a different lane as King Tech has made his way here. Tower's going to take a lot of damage from Jakiro, who's currently up at level 8 and has 4 levels into Liquid Fire. King Tekka taking a lot of damage. He's going to have to go through this. Wants to play around in the Pit of Malice as well as the Firestorm, trying to force the enemy team into it. And King Tekka taking the damage, needed to find the kill. And they're doing some more damage to King as well. He'll get the 3-man crush. And these heroes from SG, they're starting to get rather low. But none of them have gotten down just yet. And they'll start to do the damage to the tier 1. And we'll get it through the Liquid Fire. So again, you got the old SG taking the tier 1 tower without any creeps there, which the Slider has taken away. Jakiro solo push, or sorry, Juggernaut solo pushing in bottom. HFN trying to chase him down a little bit, but doesn't quite have the mana needed to get a Lucent Beam off. Just was cycling through the power treads there to see if he had enough mana, but wasn't really happening there. Started making his way towards bottom. He kind of passed up a double damage rune, which Benjaz should find here. He's got 25 seconds left until his Omni Slash. Slaughter will run into a few heroes here if he's not careful, but King is not going to find him out just yet. Just seeing a couple flashes of him on the mini-map, giving the bounty rune over to Luna. Viper a little bit slower farm than he's used to getting. It's going to take a little bit longer for him to get up to that mechanism. Tinker currently at the top of net worth. Radiant Curry going over here. Tinker's already got the boost to travel up and is well on his way to a soul ring. 4 infamous heroes are over at bottom. No damage of Stinger there, or no vision of Stinger there rather. The tower's going to be taken, and King could be in a lot of trouble. Suarez just ready to go for a crush, but he's got to get his team in position first. He's got some good vision here. He's going to see the Rubik go over towards the north. Which one does he actually want to go on? His team is all around this as the Invis rune runs out. Infamous is just pushing this really hard, and I'm not sure if SG are really even trying to defend this. Cat just puts down a Sentry Ward, And the mid lane's being pushed up by the March of the Machines. Infamous are getting over here. And it seems like SG don't really have knowledge of it. Jakiro puts the Macropyre out onto Katara, but it's also going to take down the creep wave. As well as the Tower Slider coming in from the backside, looking for the Viper. Viper eats the Fairy Fire. They're looking for the chaotic offering. It hits onto 2, and Rubik's going to steal it for himself. Stinger's going to be the first one to fall down. That golem's going to go the way of the Radiant as well. And now they're trying to chase down Infamous. They're going to take a couple inside that Pit Mouse, as well as the Firestorm, taking some damage. But Katara's in this one as well. They keep running into the Pit Mouse as Stinger just puts down the March of the Machines. They're going to put down the Firestorm as well, making sure that these creeps cannot really push in at all. And that golem ends up going the way of Benja. So a free 100 gold for him. Didn't really take too much when he was going for it. And he continues to use the taunt. Just feeling pretty comfortable in the mid lane right now. So Jakira going around the jungle right now. He's not even leveled up the Liquid Fire, and King Tekka is going to find a little ghost that's going to slow him down, make it harder to go in on this. HFN does have the double damage rune, so it's kind of unlikely that they would go on him right now, especially with his Eclipse up. Benja's taking a little bit of damage from Viper in the mid lane. He's taking a little bit too much. Viper probably wants to go for the Kitty Cat, which does have some pretty good move speed. And over at bottom, it's going to be a Macropyre out. Singer uses the Crush to get away. Kataro managing to stay alive. He's got to use his rearm, but he'll just TP away. In the mid lane, Benjaz being a little bit aggressive on the 40R, who's just a Viper. He feels completely fine here. Tavo just sitting in the jungle waiting to get his Yule Scepter up, which he does. Abyssal Underlord somehow at the top of the net worth. I don't really know how this worked, but he already has a mechanism. Pretty much what the Viper was striving to do the whole time. And Viper doesn't even have his mech up. He went Aquila first. Yeah, this Underlord is somehow incredibly farmed. Getting a little bit inside the jungle. Getting a little bit inside the lane. He's been doing really well keeping the farm up for the first part. It's just a typical King Tekka game. And he's still pushing out top. Trying to make the most of his mana right now. Might be needed elsewhere soon though. Benjaz farming out some Ancients. Tries to not get stomped twice by that Acolyte. And SG look like they're ready to make another push on mid. Tavo just runs up, and he's going to get punished quite a bit. Rubik uses that second Chaotic Offering, but now it just looks like a golem that Infamous could be able to farm. Tinker drops down the March of the Machines, and he gets the Rearm off. So he can continue to put more damage out. Jakir's going to get hit with another set of rockets, and he's down to 180 health, but he's going to be regenerating thanks to the Tranquil Boots. Top lane pushed out thanks to HFN. But he could get rotated on soon. The Dire don't really seem aware that he's right there, though, so they're not going to make the rotation in time. But all of Infamous are at the top of the net worth when it comes to cores, and they're about 5,000 ahead of SG. Now we got a smoke in from SG. They're going to be trying to get maybe a kill off onto the Warlock in the mid lane, which should be pretty darn easy. He gets lifted up in the middle of the Macropyre and stunned up by the Centaur. King Tekka makes his way over here, but it doesn't really seem like it's going to do him too much good. Yule Sceptered up before he can get the Pit Malice off. There's the Ice Path as well. Stunning King Tekka there, and he's taking a lot of damage. Gets the Pit of Malice, but there's just no way for him to survive. Trying to keep up with the mechanism, but even the Atrophy Aura isn't going to be helping him out of that situation. Tower goes the way of SG. Infamous are going to be able to take out top. But now SG want to keep going on to mid. With the Abyssal Underworld down for another 30 seconds, SG feeling pretty confident here, and they're doing a good amount of damage with the Viper, and oh no, Benjaz finding himself caught out, but he is able to get the spin off. Now he wants to go back in. Chaos offering onto a few. 40R taking a lot of damage. Rock is wreaking havoc as well, looking for a crush, but it's not going to happen. 40R trying to make his way out. Oh, Luna back in with the Eclipse. Super Benjaz staying alive. They're not worrying about this at all. Killer Queen up to the top. Katara just getting hit a lot by those Ancients. They need to get HFN done, but they don't have a stun for him. And SG, they've nearly made their way completely out of this. Singer wants another stun. He's going to keep going in here. Tava very low. He's taken within inches of his life, but oh, that set of rockets. I don't know if it helps. The Shrine is there. Can it save him enough? He actually didn't get hit by the rocket. Smoke helping him out there. And Infamous, they don't manage to find any kills on mid, and with that chaotic offering being down, it's time for them to back away. There's the Yule Scepter out onto the Slaughter. They're also going to catch out the Warlock in it, so the two supports are going to go the way of SG. Infamous kind of getting caught in there. Katara doing his best to push the lanes out, going over towards bottom. And that mid tower is not going to stand for long against SG. And they might even think about going high ground here. They are known for their very aggressive high ground pushes. They're going to have to deal with the Pit of Malice and Firestorm from King Tekka. But Rubik is at least going to steal that Pit of Malice. And well, SG may have been a bit more than they can chew there. Trying to go for a high ground without actually killing off the tier 2s, which means that they're not able to get any kind of gold from the shrines right now. So Infamous will just push in on this tier 1, and they may be able to get it here. Jakira's TPing back. He's got a pretty good combo with his Yule Scepter into Ice Path. And well, they're actually going to try to go around the side. Rubik puts out the Pit of Malice, making sure that Infamous can't go that way. But Infamous are just taking steps to secure the Radiant Jungle at this point, and also pushing in the bottom with Kataro putting down the March of the Machines. Right now, Kataro out a Blink Dagger, and he's working on an Aether Lens. He'll be back in the lane pretty soon. Actually, he's going over to top to clear it out. Infamous have to be careful and not take too much damage here from the tower. HFN getting into the lane right now. He's just clearing out those creeps. I don't think that SG are finding anything right now. Benjaz just kind of sitting there, maybe trying to be a little bit greedy in getting a creep camp, but it's a little not safe at all with SG working. Oh, Kataro getting harassed out by the Wild Wing, which eventually the Luna just finds another creep, and the Tinker's not going to be able to find that farm. And SG starting with the push onto bottom. It's a little bit easier for Tinker to defend the base when he's up to the tier 3s. So we may not see something here for a while, especially with the Rubik just throwing out the Pit Malice for funsies behind the tower. We do have Benjaz trying to push out mid, but he's definitely not able to push out as much as a Weaver with the Desolator. But Tinker's going to do as much as he can to make sure that this lane gets pushed out, and the tier 2 is as arduous a task for SG as he can make it. TP back over to mid. 40R is going to decide to defend that tower, but Benjaz and Kataro continue to try to make space around the map. Next item for Benjaz is going to be a Diffuser Blade. We have a TP into the Shrine. It's going to be in by the Jakiro, and Jakiro puts down the Ice Path. There's another TP in. A few TPs in. Benjaz uses the Manta Style. He's still going to get stunned up by the Ogre Magi, though, and he's got to try to turn this around. Uses the Omni Slash, decides to go back in. KRD in a lot of trouble. There's going to be the spin used by Juggernaut, as he will just try to TP away, and there is no more interrupt here from SG at all. Rubik will just steal the spin as Juggernaut gets out, but that's about all that's going to happen there. Benjaz just creating a little bit of space, and with all that being down, SG decide that it's time to go for the Roshan. So now SG into the Roshan pit, doing it rather quickly. Infamous still trying to create some space on their map, but they're definitely underestimating how fast this Roshan is going to go. They're getting some personnel over there right now, but it just seems like it's going to be a little bit too late. They'll send some Juggernaut illusions, but they've been zoned out, and the best thing they can do is just deny the Aegis, but it's not going to happen. Stinger getting the stun off onto the Rubik there, healed up by Viper, and Benches wants to keep going. He's got the rocket still going on the Cat, and that mechanism makes sure that he can't find the kill. Trying to turn around, they'll get the Centaur stomp off. They need to take it down. Luna coming in with the Eclipse, eventually finding the kill off on the Stinger. And Infamous, I mean, they lost the Aegis, and they're also going to lose their Slardar. It's not really up to their full builds right now, which kind of means that they're not really able to fight all that much. Their net worth is still very good. It's only about 3,000 in their favor, but they're not behind SG at this point, who, having taken quite a few towers off the map as well as the Aegis, you might expect them to be a bit better. Luna's still working on the farm. She will have a Manta style soon. I believe that, yep, that's the ultimate orb on the courier for her. Benjaz is still farming up pretty well, though. He's got something being delivered to him. It's going to be a Blink Dagger. Might have better ways to get to the back of fights to clear out the supports, which even in the last one, all of the heals from SG meant that even the Rubik never actually died in the last fight. Infamous making the push on the bottom. They've got Katara making sure that the lanes are pushed out, making these pushes a little bit easier. And SG might be a little bit too late for this. They still have to be very careful of the chaotic offering, which can definitely turn things around in favor of Infamous. The tower will go down pretty quickly, while Katara continues to make sure that the lanes are not being pushed. Infamous, they have taken 4 towers off the map, the same number as SG have. But Tinker's going to have to get a few more items before he wants to be really effective here. Infamous still going in. They're going a little bit far for this. It's a tier 3 tower that hangs on the balance here. They're just going to drop a couple of illusions, trying to get some chip damage on the tower. I highly doubt that they're going to be able to get it here. This Benjaz, he's got a Blink Dagger. Doesn't need to use it just yet. Those Ignite little balls were not going after him just yet. And they can definitely go for something like this because of the space that Katara is creating around the map, making sure that the lanes aren't being pushed too hard. But meanwhile, HFN, he might have found Benjaz, but he's not going to go that much further onto it. Tavo leading the way, looking for the Yule Scepter. He might be better off with a Blink Dagger soon, but oh, Benjaz, he could be in some trouble. He's getting stunned up by the Ice Path. Lifted up. He's in a ton of trouble. He'll use a spin, try to get away, but the damage is too great. Benjaz can't even TP away from it. Way too greedy. Way too greedy as he was going for those creep camps. Now, aggressive play by King. Probably trying to get some wards down. Nearly ran into Infamous there. King Tech is still farming okay. He's definitely dropped off from the beginning, but he continues to get those tanky items, almost building this like a bristleback. And he's creating a lot of pressure even when Kataro isn't, making sure that the top tier 2 is being pushed in. March for the Machines making sure that bottom is pushed out. This is going to be very difficult for SG. Pit of Mouse and Firestorm catches out HFN, but he's still got an Aegis and he's perfectly fine with going after King Tekka. Like, he just runs in. He's going to get caught in a pit of Malice. Slardar gets a nice crush on the 2, and the Chaotic Offering doing a lot of damage there. Warwick needs to make sure that he uses another spell. So the Eclipse comes in from HFN. Super Benchess trying to avoid a lot of damage. King Tekka, he is going to end up dying. That's a huge amount of statuses that I'm seeing right here, as, I don't know, both teams really just have statuses out the wazoo right now. Just filling out the bottom of the screen. Benjaz going in, blinks forward. They pop the Aegis onto Luna, and those rockets are going to be doing some real damage to SG. King nearly taken down, as they only have the Luna to deal with right now, but another Pit Mouse is going to make sure that Infamous are slowed down here. Oh, Slardar blinks forward, but now Benjaz does too. SG starting to get out of hand right now as they're chasing down Benjaz. He's too far in here, and he has no cooldowns left to work with. SG standing strong after that Luna Aegis is popped. Still going to be very difficult for them to push us in with the Tinker Aghanim Scepter. Or sorry, Tinker doesn't have Ags. He's just got March for the Machines. But he will have it soon in about 100 gold. And that's going to make things even more difficult for SG to push in. They're really going to have to make sure that they take care of the Tinker. And, well, he's going to get caught out on the Pit Mouse, which does not interrupt TPs, so let's get back over to the base. Viper getting the tanky items like King Tekka is, who could buy up the Vanguard if he wanted to. Well, Qatar getting a little bit close over to the Viper. And Benjaz still trying to farm up. Infamous, they think that the way through this match is just to farm up as much as they can. Make sure that they have the most farm possible when SG start to go for the high ground pushes. Hand of Midas build up for Warlock now. See if it works out for him. Rubik leading the way with the smoke. He's got his Blink Dagger up in 3 seconds, and the Slardar might have been caught out. He's got his Blink Dagger away, so he manages to get it off. Warlock tries to TP away, but he's not going to be so lucky. Caught out in the lift, Pit of Malice, and combos down for the kill. And we will see SD continue to get that top lane push going. With the Warlock down, Chaos offering not available for 5 seconds. SD feeling very confident here. King Tekka getting chased down. He pops his Pit Mouse, but there's a Pit Mouse on the other side. Tinker continues trying to do work. There's a lift into the Macro Pyre. Ice Path is there, but King Tekka's just going to stand in it because he doesn't really seem to care too much at all. Tinker's managed to defend this with his Aghanim Scepter build-up, and Qatar is going to make sure that his team just stays in it for the time being. But that ward on the high ground, it could prove to be his undoing pretty soon. I'd like to see Benjaz start to get to some more items. His Manta-style Blink Dagger doesn't really seem to be too effective in the fights right now. And if FG continue to have the advantage like they do, he's going to start to be in big trouble. Oh, Tinker blinking away from that ice path, continuing to make sure that the lanes are pushed out. It's very difficult for SG to get anything done when these lanes are always pushed out thanks to the Tinker. But Infamous still only have 2 kills, which kind of makes the fact that they're down by 12 and still ahead on net worth even more impressive. But now SG having all the tier 2 towers down, they can start to go for these shrines. And, well, they seem to be pretty prepared for this as well, as they already have an observer ward at that bottom right shrine. Katara and Benjaz will continue to push in bottom, forcing out a TP from the Viper. Tinker actually blinking forward to, I don't know, I guess pull the creep wave over. Give Viper something to think about. Meanwhile, on mid, though, Jakira's been caught out by Slardar. Are they actually going to be able to find this? Another crush in 3 seconds. Jakiro, he's going to be able to blink out. And King allows him to get away a little bit faster with the Bloodlust. But now Benjaz, he's going to go for an Omni Slash, and he finds the Jakiro kill on Tavo. Unfortunately, Infamous can't really find anything else off of that. And top lane is getting pushed in pretty hard with the Luna illusions. Roshan also isn't available for another 30 seconds. As she's starting to move around, you got a Diffusal Blade completed by Juggernaut. And Luna's making her way towards a butterfly. Slaughter's build was a little bit slower than you would usually see King Tekka build it up. He's not actually playing the hero, he's playing the Abyssal Underworld, which had some pretty good farm this game, and is still staying ahead of the Viper, who generally is not all that great at farming. We'll see a Shiva's Guard from him soon enough. But even then, Infamous, they're not able to do as much with their farm. I think that's one of the main problems of an Underworld sometimes. He's going to put out a lot of control. I don't think I've seen the... Yeah, that's what I thought. It's like the same as Slark. I don't think I've seen the Dark Rift once this match. So I probably would like to see teams start to utilize that in kits a little bit more. SG start to work on the Roshan, and look how fast this goes with the Luna Butterfly. She is attacking almost with machine-like speed there. She's just a glaive-throwing machine right now. And Infamous, they don't even have enough time to react to this, and if they do get close, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Stinger getting close over to the lane. He's going to get the Yule Scepter up in the air, but Benchaz starts to go forward. He's going to get stunned up in the Ice Path. Now Viper puts the Viper Strike out onto Stinger, who now has to get away. Pit and Mouse stopping this right now. Tinker continues to put out a lot of damage. BKB popped by HFN, who wants to just go in here. King Tekka doing some work, just tanking everything up. Benchaz may want to get in soon. There's being a crush on the 3. This is where Infamous want to reinitiate. They get the kill offering as well. Out on the 4. They killed off the Rubik. They're looking for more. HFN, he's going to have that Aegis pop pretty soon. Viper's dead as well. Benchaz spinning through that Ice Path, eventually getting stunned. Now can Luna play this on her own? Singer's there. He's got a crush as well. They've got buybacks by the Slaughter, and he just helps to secure the Luna kill. It's a full 5-man team wipe. Infamous are in this one, baby. As they come back in that one, just absolutely fantastic. Slaughter gets the perfect crush after that Ice Path expires, and now it's time for Infamous to flex their pushing muscles. And they'll go right over towards the bottom lane. That's where they don't have to deal with a tier 2 tower. Next respawners in 5 seconds for SG. That Rubik went down so damn quickly. And now they want to take that tier 3 tower down. Here they go. Infamous popping the Manta style on the tower. And they might get the first Rax kill of the game. It's just 1 second of bad play from SG, and Infamous take advantage of it, pushing in the racks. This is where SG have to hold it. It's another crush in by the Slardar. They're going to get the Pit Mouses there. King is in trouble. King taken down. Ice Path on the 3. Lots of damage from the Jakiro, but 40R, he's been slowed down so much by the Warlock Pit, and he's stunned as well. Viper's been killed. He doesn't have buyback. Cat trying to get away. He's got the Glimmer Cape, rather. And he's managing to get out with just his life there. But the tier 3 tower, the melee racks taking the way of Infamous. They still don't lose anything when they push it in. And they just get so much out of it as well. You just have that 1 second where you're not paying attention against Infamous, and then Slaughter manages to get a huge gem. They'll get the Dark Rift back in the base. A free ride for them. Not quite taken in there, but... You know, it's hard to click on a map sometimes. And yeah, also the Katara Tinker just doing so much work on the side there. He's got his Aghanim Scepter, and he's very nearly up to a Perma Hex as well. And take a look at the net worth graph after that fight. A sharp decline the way of Infamous. SG were just hanging on there. But the 3 cores on Infamous just so farmed up right now. And SG, they've got to figure out a way to handle the Infamous fight. Now, it's definitely going to involve not allowing the Warlock to hold his rock for so long in that fight. Man, that must have been 20 seconds until he finally just let it fly out onto 4 heroes. That was some excellent patience from him, just waiting for that next initiation from the Slardar to just seal the deal for his team. And now Infamous, they're definitely feeling a lot more comfortable around the map. They've taken the Aegis away from SG as well, so that's something that's not even going to be on either team for another 5 minutes at least. 6 minutes probably. Slaughter is getting closer to completing his 4 staff. There's just so much for Infamous after that last fight. Stinger did lose a lot of gold after that buyback, but I feel like it was kind of needed to make sure that the Luna just didn't turn around. They really needed that extra stun to make sure that she wasn't able to get away. And I mean, Juggernaut's almost got a Scotty as well. This game just got a whole lot more interesting for SG. Apparently, players have to use the bathroom left and right. Had a lot of that at the beginning of this game, I believe, as well. I guess it's important to stay hydrated or something. But in any case, we're going to get back into this one. SG... they're a little bit on the back foot right now. Luna's still trying to rally her team behind her, but it's going to be a little bit more difficult. You always have that Kataro Tinker threatening to push down your base with his side pushes the entire time. And pretty soon he's going to have a way to win the 1v1 as well, or get some good pickoffs. Yeah, he's got his Scythe of Vice up as well. And it'll be a BKB soon for him. So he's just trying to make sure that there's no way that he ends up falling down here. Top lane's going to be pushed in by the Tinker. You've got SG at bottom, but mid lane's taking some damage as well from King Tekka. And that's the only tier 2 still standing for SG at this point. And they will try to push in bottom. Maybe trying to see if they can find some heroes here. But top lane's pushing in pretty hard. Mid lane is too. And this Kari the Catapult might be able to find this tier 2 tower. Oh, is he going to win? Can Cardi find the kill? It's down to 88 health. 64 health. It's going to be a few more hits. Can Cardi do it? 38. He's got 13. One more. Cardi, you can do it. Oh, man. Cardi actually finding the kill on the tower. What an MVP. And that's the last tier 2 that Infamous had to take down. So Cardi really coming in handy there. Able to take all the outer towers down on the side of SG. So Juggernaut, he's going to be pushing on in the mid lane. He could get caught out here. Not a whole lot of help from his team. Katara TPing over to bottom. There was a hero in the trees that very quickly got out. Benjez will be hanging out in the mid lane, continuing to go through the creeps, not really worrying about anybody that might be getting in his way. He's got a Scotty looking very tanky right now, and he'll have an MKB pretty soon as well to start to deal with the Luna. Let's courier over to the secret shop for SG. It's going to be picking up the rest of the Assault Cuirass for Luna. He's currently got a Hyperstone Hunter. And Infamous are going over for it. They've smoked around. They're looking for this courier. It's going to wait. Oh, they're not going to find it. And now Luna has her AC. They're going to go right past the Juggernaut Illusions. And they want to try to catch Infamous with their pants down. And it might be at the shrine. Benjez is right there. He gets stunned by the Ice Path. Macropyre makes him be in a lot of trouble. He's trying to spin away. Tries to TP up, but it's not going to work. It's a kill the way of SG. Just getting caught out there. A little bit greedy as he goes for the shrine kill. Trying to get some gold for his team. Warlock's going to go over to the other one. I don't think he starts to try to hit it. But the tier 3 tower did fall bottom. It's just the effects of Kataro's endless pushing of the lanes. Benjez will respawn in another 47 seconds. And actually, Warlock's been caught out. He's going to Get an ice path for free. There's a stun in from the Ogre Magi rather, and Warlock tries to heal himself up, but it's just not going to work out enough. SG looking for more. King Tekka being chased away from the mid lane. 40R is going to chase him down. He's got a Viper Strike up right now. Doesn't decide to use it. His team is still trying to catch up, so they decide not to. Because, yep, the bottom racks, they've been taken down within 40 health of being killed, and that would be a range creep that SG really don't feel like dealing with. So the Viper's going to go over there, take the creep aggro. He'll be taking all the creep aggro, making them all gather around him. Unlucky that another Cardi is not there to help out SG, but now King Tekka, he's going to see a macro power in the mid lane, burning down him as well as his creeps. Roshan's still not going to be there for at least another minute. And that courier is going back over to the secret shop. Infamous at about a 7,500 gold lead at this point. It's definitely decreased a little bit. Ogre, he's currently out of Vlads and a drums, just giving the auras to his team. It's possibly why we see all these status effects at the bottom. And Warlock now has a gem on himself. Bencha still farming up. That last death definitely hurt him quite a bit. He was well on his way to an MKB, but things are a bit more difficult now, and that is quite a long Roshan respawn. We've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds until we're going to see the big man back in his pit, so that's nearly the longest that it can be. About 20 seconds less. That's kind of unlucky for SG, who are kind of hoping that Roshan would be up right about now. But he's not going to be back there for a while. Katara continuing to push out the other lanes. He's going to drop the double marksman machines at bottom. Make sure that those creeps are going to fall. Both teams trying to find the advantages around the map. We look at the vision. Infamous aren't really seeing all that much. SG, they see somewhat on the bottom part. But neither team really is able to find a way to get back into the match. Or find, I don't know, a high ground push, I guess. Viper's making his way towards a heart. That's going to make him quite tanky, but at that point I feel like Infamous is going to be a lot easier for them to just get through his health. Katara's still working on his build. He's keep holding on to the Soul Ring, but he will have the Zap Gun pretty soon. Up to 4,000 gold, so he could buy up a few levels if he wants to. And it's going to be Infamous's turn to look in the Roche Pit and see nothing. Still a while until that guy's going to be up. Luna up to 3,000 gold. Could be working on the next item. Also has the Hurricane Pike for some extra mobility around the map. And those who farm together might not die as much, or would at least die 4 at a time, is the mantra for Infamous. And SG, actually. They're still moving around the map as a unit. None of them really want to get picked off, which is definitely a possibility with the Tinker running around with the Permahex. Roshan respawning soon. It's less than a minute at this point. They're going to see Slaughter at top, who will blink away immediately as soon as he starts to catch vision. Jakiro going forward. He'll catch him the ice path. This might be the Slaughter being caught out. And I don't think that Infamous look like they're going to try to defend him at all. Cat even managing to steal the crush there. That is a lot of status effects. Now possibly some heroes being caught out at mid. Warlock getting away from a couple of heroes showing their faces, dropping down the Observer War in the mid lane. 40 are trying to chase him down. He might be able to do something to the Warlock, but any hero that might be behind him could make things more difficult for Infamous. And with the Slaughter being down, SG might feel more comfortable going for Roshan, which has respawned. So they will go for him right now. HFN basically doing enough damage on his own to kill him. And Sorta won't be respawning for another 10 seconds. This should be a next Roshan going the way of SG, unless Infamous have something to say about it. They'll start to put the Firestorm inside the pit, and Pitward continues to be kept out with the Ice Path, but now they're going to get the Hex out into the Ogre Magi, trying to take him down with some illusions. King is just going to walk right in. He's in the middle of the Macropyre, trying to stay alive, and Clitz is going to be taking him down as well. Chaotic Offering was dropped, but now both teams kind of have to back away from each other, as so many different things have been used. Benchaz wants to go forward. Qatar's going to TP back to base. And both teams will just disengage, not losing any heroes, but with SG staying alive with the Aegis. Infamous haven't gone for these shrines at all. It's inside the jungle looking for a pickoff. Benchaz is just going to get to work on the shrine. King Tekka walking around with his Shiva's Guard, staying alive as much as he could throughout the last fight, not really fearing any of the damage that was going down. He just stood in the middle of a Macropyre, and he seemed to like it. But, oh, Infamous, they might have caught the courier. They're looking for it. Smarter will force staff forward and gets the kill, and he will Glimmer Cape to get away. King going forward. He's got the gem. Tinker's going to TP, or start to TP in, but he's got to be careful. Swara gets a crush. Tinker has to find a way into this fight, or they just abandon the Slaughter again. Singer gets no love from his team at all. Yule Scepter up onto King Tekka. Can they find the Tinker? He's been found in the trees. They'll kill off Kataro. Does he buy back to get back into this? Benchaz, he's fighting right now. But at this point, oh, King Qatar is going to get back into the fight. Benchaz spinning away. This might not be the best time. He's going in behind. He's not got help from his team at all. He's going to be lifted. He needs to use that BKB. He's going to get crushed immediately by the Slaughter, rather the stolen Slaughter crush from Rubik. And Rubik's going to steal the Blade Spin as well. Does he find anything else? He's looking for it. He blinks forward. He'll get the spin off on the King Tekka, but that's a lot of damage for a Rubik to deal with. King Tekka starting to put out that Pit of Malice. He's got a Dark Rift available. He'll put a Firestorm down as well to Pit of Malice onto the Viper. Can they kill him off? He's pretty tanky at this point. Shiva's Guard going to slow him down. Infamous looking for the kill. They're looking for the Viper. Warlock trying to get back into it. Benchaz chasing him down, but they cannot catch up to 40R. The Bloodlust just making it so hard to catch up to him. And SG taking a pretty big fight, forcing out a buyback on Tinker, who just goes right back in the middle of everything, which is not where you want to be for a Tinker at all. And Tinker doesn't even have a BKB like I was talking about. Like, that's actually the only way that I see him getting into a fight like that. Like, if he could BKB and stand strong in the middle of all those heroes, because I really didn't see it happening there at all. And his team was too far away to make a difference. Definitely a lapse in communication for Infamous. Thinking they could fight there, and now Benchaz might be cut out. He uses his Manta Style a little bit too early, slowed down by the Viper Strike, and he's got to fight. There's no way. He uses the Fusil Blade out on the 4DR. He's getting chased down by the Luna. He's got a Glimmer Cape trying to get away, but King, he does have the Gem of True Sight. Benchaz trying to get away. He's still going very slowly. There's going to be an Ice Path out, trying to slow some heroes down. Now Viper's possibly being caught out in the middle of that Pit of Malice. Benchaz slowing down 40R, looking for the kill. They'll get him even slower with the Shiva's Guard. Now they turn their sights onto the King, who is going to eventually fall. Gem on the ground. Aegis is gone. Can HFN re-engage? Tavo looking for the Ice Path, and Suarez going to come in looking for a crush. It's not going to happen. HFN just does way too much damage. Now they're looking for the Viper again. He's up to the high ground, and this is a great place for a Viper to be. And Benchaz immediately, he's going for the Viper, trying to take down this tanky snake making his way away. The laser's going to shut him down, and now they're looking for Cat. King Tekka getting a lot of mana taken away. He's going to get the Shiva's Guard off. Glimmer Cape used by Rubik, but they know exactly where this guy is going. He's in the trees. Gem of True Sight is there. Infamous takes some more kills. In any case, Infamous, it is time for them to keep pushing as they take a couple of heroes off the map. But now, Tinker, he'll go permanent hex on Jakiro. He says, no, man, it's not going to happen for you today. But he's out of mana. And now Tavo eats the cheese. He's back into the fight. Swarter going to help out. And he will get the crush off onto Jakiro. Killer Queen getting the Dagon as well. It's time for Tavo to die. He'll cut some trees down on his way out, but that's about all he's going to do. Pit Mouse onto a few here. Rubik is going to immediately steal the Firestorm. BKB pop by HFN. He'll go for the Eclipse as well. Omni Slash used by Juggernaut. He's going around trying to do as much damage as he can. King RD, he's going to just stand strong and be his ogre self. Lucent Beam out on the Spend Jazz. AC truly super. Hex out on the Luna. They've killed her off. She does have buyback. She does it right away as Infamous will go for their set of racks. And, well, it is all hands on deck for SG as these racks go down so quickly. Benjaz rather low. He'll take a Lucent Beam. He'll spin, try to win. Luna's doing too much damage to him, but she's going to get scythed up. She's going to get force staffed away. Benjaz nearly dead. In fact, he is. He has buyback available. Pit of Malice all over the place at the top lane. Stinger wants to go back in, but he's going to get caught out by that root as well. HFN, he can't afford to die. King Tekka chasing him down. Juggernaut wants to get back into the fight, but he has to be careful. Cannot afford to have another dieback. He's running in through the mid lane. 40R, he can't find the Warlock. He's going to go for his Golem. King Tekka tanking up all this damage as well. Cat, he's still got the Fatal Bonds on him, and King Tekka is just going to use Rift to get out. Those Juggernaut Illusions want to go over and get the racks, but they're just not quite able to get over there. And after all of that, it's a 4,000 gold change the way of SG somehow. After all that. And, well, Infamous, they're still looking pretty good. They have one last Rax to take down. Luna's just so farmed at this point. All she wants is more farm. She will take this farm all day. And she definitely has a ways to go with her build. But I don't know if Infamous are going to be willing to let her just do whatever she wants right now. They'll go in with a smoke bench as he'll get it broken. He's looking for more. He's got a double damage rune. He wants to take someone down, but he's going to get stunned up immediately. He needs to get the spin off there. It's going to be a Pit of Mouse, which he will just spin through. He's going for the Luna. He can't use his Omni Slash right now. He's got to make sure that he stays alive. Rooted in the Pit of Mouse. Now King Tekka going in. HFM pops a BKB. King Tekka will stand strong, and that BKB is not going to last forever. Juggernaut goes in. Benjaz being super, putting the damage out. He'll get the kill onto the Luna, and they want more. Viper in trouble. Pit of Mouse stolen by Rubik. He's going to try to get away underneath the color of a Glimmer Cape, but eventually that is not going to be enough as Infamous take game number 1. It's pretty usual for them. They are used to beating SG, but it has not been this close before, and if game 2 is going to be more of the same, I cannot wait. So SG really showing what they got against Infamous, coming up with a draft that is very similar to what they've run before, just pushing it in as much as they can, giving HFN the space that he needs to put out a huge amount of damage. But this time, Infamous, they slow them down with Guitaro, playing the Tinker, being excessively annoying, and eventually the team is able to come around and get the victory in game number 1. But we still have at least one more to go. If Infamous can win, they will be having a rematch up against Team Freedom in the grand final of the Prodota Cup. So let's just stop talking, get playing, and get into game number 2 in just a few moments. Stay classy, guys, and watch some ads.
changes.
Life. Life.
Signature Shadow Demon Luna start. They're not going to allow SG to pick up the Luna. Instead, SG will go with the Ogre Magi. And, well, Infamous, they're going to see the King Tekka Batrider and the Slaughter banned out against them as well. So already King Tekka being targeted in this draft. Infamous will instead take out the Undying and Weaver, heroes that have been known to do very well for SG early. And it seems like a lot of the early heroes that SG like to go with have been taken out of the draft. They go with the IO instead, something we haven't seen from them at all tonight. And, well, we'll just go into the second phase of banning then. Luna and Shadow Demon is something that Infamous have run quite a bit. This is more of an earlier strategy from them from before 7.00. But they are quite experienced on it. They would go to it in many of their matches. Benja is definitely very experienced on the Luna. And it was shown how effective it could be in the last match. Now a couple things getting banned out here. More King Tekka heroes by SG. They're going to take Underworld away. Taking a lot of his heroes out of the draft. And Infamous will take the Sand King away as well. So it would appear that they weren't really planning on playing King Tekka on that either. Almost playing with the thought process of SG. Because, you know, as they are banning out all of King Tekka's heroes, they're also banning out a lot of the main offlaners, which seems to be an area of the draft that they focus on a lot most of the time. So it's going to be another Legion Commander ban away by Infamous, which is definitely the same thing that they did in the last match, bang it away for SG. Again, a very strong hero, can push in lanes or defend lanes pretty well, and can definitely heal up do quite a bit with the heals. I think it might also be pretty strong with the IO, but SG, they might do kind of the European thing and maybe pick up Tiny or maybe even the Bristleback here. IO Bristleback has been one of the combos that teams have played a lot here. Team Freedom definitely have gone to that strategy quite a bit. And interesting, we have a Night Stalker ban out. So I guess we're kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel with the King Tekka bans. So now Infamous. Well, this is an old time Infamous draft if I ever saw one. Picking up the Kunkka Shadow Demon combo. They have definitely run this quite a bit. I'm pretty sure they've even started numerous drafts off with this same trio. So we'll see what SG end up doing against this. Very strong for Infamous. They know how to play it. And this is... I don't know. I kind of thought that I was going to see more of a push strategy against SG, which is what Infamous went for before. But maybe they're just kind of respecting the team a little bit more this time around. Like last time they just went for Benj as Venomancer and pushed them in about 21 minutes. So SG, they pick up a Centaur. Could be pretty good at just making these illusions disappear. What SG can kind of run with this is they can pick a lineup that doesn't really have any illusions for the Shadow Demon to take, and also get heroes that can clear Luna illusions rather well, so that they don't have to deal with the push in as much. Also, the Centaur should be able to help the IO get some good relocate ganks off. If he can stun someone out, they could get a relocate in and probably take them down in most cases. So right now, SD are kind of low on reserve time, spending a lot of time to think about their picks. Infamous, they still have quite a bit going for their fourth one here. See if it... No, it's just going to be a King Tekka Darks here. This is kind of a boring draft. I feel like we're back before 7.00 came out. Darkseer definitely a lot stronger now, though, with the slow on the wall. SG haven't touched it in the bans at all, which is a little bit surprising considering that they first banned it, I believe, against Doo-Wop. And SG pick up a Chaos Knight, looking very tanky with their draft right now. They'll say, you know what, you want some illusions? We'll make some illusions as well. And of course, IO Chaos Knight, something that a lot of teams have played in the past. One of those historic IO combos. Infamous will ban out the OD with their fifth ban here. Definitely can be played rather well by 40R, as he showed up against Doo-Wop. Eventually got its farm and was very effective in the game. Interestingly enough, Tinker hasn't been touched at all, even though SG did have to deal with it quite a bit in the last match. Sometimes you'll see teams just say, screw it, we'll take that hero away because it was so annoying. But it looks like SG have gone for a draft that doesn't really mind the Tinker as much anymore and is pretty good at isolating him from the fights. Like the Chaos Knight can easily pull someone out, might be able to do a huge amount of damage to the Luna if you can find the real one. And SGR, oh wow. So they have the CK, Necrophos, and an IO here. So if they can lock a hero down, they can get the Reaper's Scythe to be able to find the kill. That's looking a little bit scary for Infamous to have to deal with that. But if they don't allow any of these heroes to get online, things get a lot easier for them. So that'll bring us to our last pickup here for Infamous. It's going to be a mid laner for Kitaro. And it's actually going to be the Viper that SG had in the last game. So they're going all out early against this, and they want to try to push it in as much as possible. So here we go. We are getting into game number 2 between SG, who are going with another interesting lineup here, against Infamous, who they're just going with their very normal draft setup for them, going with what feels good as they try to get into the grand final up against Team Freedom, trying to get a rematch from the upper bracket final. Probably going to have a pause when we get into the match anyway, so we have quite a bit of time. Darkseer, I really like the Darkseer Kunkka combo. I think it offers quite a bit in terms of fighting. Yeah, we do have the pause as players just try to get in. Can take a while to load into match sometimes. So eventually we'll be getting into it. SG, they've picked a very interesting lineup. I think that the Necrophos could work rather well with the IO. I guess they put the CK top, offlane Centaur, and then Necrophos in the mid lane up against Viper. But going against a Viper is not really an easy task. Necrophos should be able to benefit from his pretty long range. Alright, we will get into game number 2 here. See if Infamous can close this one out up against their Brazilian foes, Team SG. So let's just go through our starting items and try to get into our game. Benjaz starting out as the Luna. Not sure if he's going to have a tri-lane like SG did in the last match, but I would assume that Shadow Demon is going to be working pretty closely with the Kunkka, and SG already getting aggressive here. HFN and King going over to place that early word down. So Tavo is going to be pretty much alone in the off lane. They're going to go mid lane CK, I guess, with an IO, and then 40R is going to be the carry in the top lane with Cat. Tank Tech probably going to be solo off lane for Infamous then, as Shadow Demon really wants to make sure that nothing terrible goes on with Viper to start, as that's one of the times when he's pretty vulnerable. So we'll see if the IO is able to harass out the Viper enough. Probably will need the help of Shadow Demon to start out. But Shadow Demon is just going to go over towards bottom, and he will be scared out by the Dire Observer going down there. So Centaur probably knows to be very careful. That's a lot of damage that could be coming through, though. Guitaro, oh, he's got a lot of people in the mid lane. Cat is actually smoked up here, ready to go in. Guitaro has to be so careful. There's a lot that could be done to go after him, and it's going to be a lasso slowing him down, or sorry, a tether slowing him down. Lasso is slow too, but Guitaro, oh, they're going to use the disruption out onto the Chaos Knight, and it actually means that SG don't have enough damage to kill. Oh, Guitaro stunned underneath the tower. It's going to be a 2-second stun. Can he get away? The answer is no. Yeah, HFN. He's actually going to go onto the Shadow Demon. It could be a kill onto him as well. He eats through the trees, and he's going to eat his way to death. As SG find 2 in the mid lane. Maybe he should have just stuck around at bottom. Torrent off the mark at bottom. Tavo still taking a lot of damage. Has the first level into return, which Stinger knows. He's going to try to force him out a little bit before the Chaos Knight can get up to level 2. Benjaz doing very well with the denies. And already, SG go over and use that shrine very early. But I guess the tri-lane mid definitely necessitates the use of a lot of shrines. Centaur again getting deep in bottom. And he's back up to nearly full health. Getting harassed out again. Centaur's just pulling those creeps away. And Kunkka's going to use an X out on him. He's currently level 2. And he'll take a lot of damage. The Lucent Beam Assist could be a kill on the Tavo. They're not even going to use it. Shadow Demon just manages to find the kill. Meanwhile, at mid, Viper in a lot more trouble. As the Shadow Demon was going in at bottom, Katara is still taking a lot of harass at mid. He's up to 2 last hits right now. And he's going to go actually over to the shrine to just try to get back up to full health. Cat taking the A bounty rune away. And he's again going to get a wraparound at mid. Can Qatar even stay alive? Reality Rift is through. 3 seconds stun out onto the Viper. There's going to be a TP in by the Kunkka this time to slow things down. Is he going to get a torrent in time? It's going to be an X on the HFN pulling him back. Qatar trying to stay alive, but he's eating his way through the trees, and he's not in a very good place at all. That is not where you would want to avoid a gank. Cat taking a lot of damage, not dying in the end. And, well, Viper continues to have a lot of pressure put onto him at mid. HFN scaring King in mid, and King could be pretty scared, and here comes Io here with some balls. King is in trouble. He's very tanky. Balls end up not being needed to be used all that much, but now HFN rather far in. He's not taking the aggro from the tower. Katara trying to chase him down, but he doesn't have any levels into the Viper strike at all. Poison attack is what it is actually called. Doesn't have any points into that, so we can't really chase down the Chaos Knight there at all. Elsewhere, the IO ends up killing King Tech in the top lane, and now Shadow Demon is in a lot of trouble. Getting blocked out by Cat as well, trying to get the kill over to Tavo. Lots of damage has been taken. Ogre can probably just smack him down. Now Luna wants to find the kill on the Tavo. Eventually will with the Loosen Beam. Now Kunkka also making his way over towards bottom. Cat in a lot of trouble. Torrent's off the mark. And, well, Cat's going to stay alive. He'll just TP out. Viper in a ton of trouble at mid again. That's only a 2-second stun this time. He'll try to turn around and do some damage. Very difficult to do this kind of thing when you have heroes in your face all the time, though. Now Viper in a lot of trouble. Getting stunned out, surrounded by creeps. He is going to need some help from the Shadow Demon. He just puts out the disruption out into the Viper. Saving him a little bit more this time around. Viper, oh, can he get sniped by a ball? King is just moving away for now. But Qatar is getting a lot of regen thrown his way, trying to get as many last hits as possible. With all those kills, the Chaos Knight hasn't really been last hitting all that much, but he's completely fine there. He's 3-0-2. I mean, he really doesn't care at this point if he's getting too many last hits or not. Sure, he's going to want to try to go for them, as there's another Reality Rift on the mid lane. Huge amount of stuns. Saved by a Shadow Demon. Is it going to be enough? Torrent is right there, putting the Ogre Magi right in the air. King taken down by the Viper, but it's not going to be enough quite yet. Now it is. So that killing spree is gone, as Chaos Knight into the trees will be able to throw out the Chaos Bolt and find the kill onto the Shadow Demon. This is SG just completely taking advantage. Oh, but there's a torrent there. Kunkka doesn't quite have the damage, and he might get this turned around. 3-second stun, and HFN is going to get healed up as well. Viper going for the wrong target. Very impossible to take those heroes down as well. He needs just a bit more damage in the mid lane to actually do anything. In any case, we've got a smoke rotation in the bottom. But STR aren't going to find a whole lot with it. They're just going to look for a bounty room, which King is not going to be able to pick up. Infamous just look really scared at this point. Like, Benjaz knew they were going down there. Now Viper has to be afraid on the mid lane. And King Tech is basically going into the jungle at this point, trying not to die himself. The IO combo is just really annoying for Infamous to try to deal with right now. And Ogre's going to be finding an invis room for himself to put into the bottle. Give back over to King. Shadow Demon possibly getting caught out here. Just wants to get the jungle stack off, but no. Cat is going to go over to the lane. So they're trying to get as much farm as they can off the map right now. Trying to get any kind of effectiveness at all. That Ion Shell is going to be a little bit off in terms of timing. Wasn't really doing most of its duration onto the creep camp at all. As Ogre makes his way over there. Doing some scouting of the Radiant side. King is going to be there with some balls to hit people in the face with. And now Ogre goes in with the Bloodlust. King Tech has already used his Surge to try to get away. He's going to get stunned now and slowed down quite a bit. And he decides to try to turn around, uses a vacuum back, tries to get a kill on the King, but it's not going to happen. King just stays alive for a little bit longer. And that's going to be another kill away of SG. I mean, it's just... Infamous seem at a loss right now of what to do. They have the combo of Shadow Demon and Kunkka, but they just haven't really ever played it at all. And... well, Infamous, they will do a mass TP over to the top lane. But again, they're just not really finding anything here. They'll completely abandon bottom. I think they believe that... with all the pressure that's going around on the map, they have to start to try to take towers down. So they'll swap the Luna over to the top lane. Whoever shows up mid is going to be in a ton of trouble against the Chaos Knight. But Luna is still at the top of the net worth, so she's been farming pretty well at this point. Tavo getting chased around a little bit by King Tekka. There's going to be the relocate back in as Tavo just TPs out. HFN managing to find a kill. Luna's going to deny the tower. Maybe try to turn it around onto 40R. He'll get stunned up for his troubles. Still level 3 into the Lucent Beam, but Benches has gone 3 levels into Graves, probably needing to get the farm up a lot faster. Yeah, King Tech is trying to do as much as he can to, I don't know, survive, maybe find a kill on the map, but he just gets chased down a little bit too much by the Aya, who already at level 6 just received a lot of space through helping out the CK in mid. King Tekka possibly getting caught out. Tavo, no, he's just gonna run around and do his Ion Shell thing somewhere else. But Benjaz is still sticking up there in terms of net worth. Last game, it really wasn't enough to get Infamous to win the game. Or sorry, SG, as they had the Luna. And they'll send Benjaz over to mid, giving him the Frost Troll aura here, or armor. Kunkka goes in on that sentry ward. It's going to be the... okay, charge down at bottom. They get the stun off onto King Tekka, and again, King Tekka going to take the fall. Again, keeping him out of this game. Looks like them banning him out is pretty effective right now. They're going to be taking down the tier 1 tower. They used a Bloodlust on it to try to keep it alive, but that Fortify is now gone. Cat really can't go in on it at all. And Infamous are able to find their first tower of the match. Now Infamous try to go and defend bottom. Tavo's here. They're going to get the disruption off onto HFN. Make a couple of... oh, nice relocate save. We'll probably get an IO for this, but SG might decide to try to fight. 40R isn't in the trees right now. He might have been scouted out going in. Io's getting back. Gets the tether back over to the Necrophos. And now King thinking about trying to go in. There's a boat. It's going to hit onto literally nothing. Actually, the Io is there. Decides to take the hit for it. And now Eclipse doing some damage. Vacuum back into the wall. There's a Torn as well. Catching out 40R. 40R in a lot of trouble. They can't really afford to lose him. But now he uses that magic immunity. The Pestilence, I believe it's called. And he's going to get hit by the Viper. Eventually finding the kill. 40R getting a little bit low. there and just couldn't really get through the damage at all. Tavo being healed up by King. He's going to be X back. King actually gets hit by a ball, eventually dying. That's Stinger. And, well, looks like Infamous are being cleaned up at this point. King Tekka into the trees, looking like he wants to try to get something done. Has a vacuum available onto a few, but he really can't take this damage at all. Tavo gets low, but Tavo does not die. And SG win out that fight, getting a lot of kills there. About 1,200 gold off of it as well. So, Infamous still on the back foot. This Viper really needs to farm. He's working towards a Phantom Minus right now. And HFN making his way in here with the Wisp. Qatar has been basically getting away for now, but they could keep going on to him. Stinger in the lane. Qatar really cannot be all that far out. They've got 5 heroes on the mid lane. And, well, the Torrent will hit. SG getting a little bit close together. That little Satyr creep, it's going to sit there for a little bit longer. Wants to get things done here. Yeah, it is Ghost Shroud, actually. New things for Necrophos that we have to learn, I guess. King Tekka going into the dire jungle. Looks to be on a bit of an adventure. I don't really know where he thinks he's going. I guess he's going to farm some creeps or something. Again, Infamous are getting behind in terms of towers, but that wasn't a problem for them last time. They are still keeping up the farm on benches, but this time around, their other cores are not even close. They are very far behind the Chaos Knight as well as Necrophos. Pipe of Insight currently on Necro. This is not even close to what Infamous were able to pull off last game. But they do have a bit of a different team this time around. One that they can definitely execute the crap out of. TP to the top lane for 40R. He's going to go and hide in the trees, building up his Veil of Discord right now. With currently pushing in the lane. And there could be a relocate in there soon. So SG, they're definitely going to be able to defend this tower. And King Tekka's going to have to be careful. He might be the first one to go down. Tava's going to come up behind him and try to get a surge away. And Centaur will use his ultimate. King Tekka's going over towards the tier 2 tower. He's got to be in trouble. Vacuum back. King Tekka is in trouble. That's going to be the Reaper Scythe, killing him off. Infamous, they're probably just going to be happy if they can get the tower, which they are close to being able to do. Relocate could come in behind. They will get the tower with Cardi. And they'll try to TP away. Luna not getting caught out over at bottom. HFN and King, they were looking for a relocate. They could not find the opening, though. So they just sit here, pushing in the tower a little bit more. Benjaz will show up here ready to farm up some, making his way towards the Manta style at the top of the net worth. And it's not really at the point where net worth is hugely important. It's just getting up that first item. HFN moves forward. He's going to get some help from the IO, and Phantasm getting used, but immediately Benjaz gets the disruption. HFN in some trouble, and King D could not get the relocate off fast enough. Eclipse was also used to cut down the Chaos Knight. Can the Wisp stay alive here? Let's take a quick look at him as he panics inside the base. He'll try to TP away. Is he going to get out in time? Oh, he's not going to be able to time the TP correctly. And even though the Torrent was off the mark, they still managed to kill the IO. King Tekka in onto top. Has to be careful. Couple TPs in. Qatar could be in some trouble. Lots of damage in from Necrophos as King Tekka tries to chase down Cat, but he's not going to find him right now. King, ready with an X, is going to pull him back here. And there's one Ion Shell. King Tekka wants to probably get 2 here. They'll chase down Cat a little bit, and they'll use the surge off onto him as he already has 1 set of Ion Shell damage, and they're gonna get the kill. One of the most anticlimactic things I've seen in my life, as Tavo will find a tier 1 tower top. Rather a tier 2. So he's pushed that in pretty far. Taking another tower off the map against Infamous. But things are starting to get a little bit more under control. Viper going for the Hand of Midas, making sure that he can get back into the match somehow. Has that comeback mechanic, I guess, a little bit with the Hand of Midas. Means that his next item is going to be a little bit more delayed, but when your team is this far behind, it makes a little bit more sense, I guess. Chaos Knight will be picking up his helm soon. We see a lot more players going for this kind of item. You know, the BSJ is a particular fan of that. And with the new speed of the creeps that it dominates, it makes a lot more sense. They're a lot easier to use at this point. Sometimes you would just have a troll walking around at Crystal Maiden move speeds. Oh, Smoke is going to break on the cat. They could get the X out on him. SG might try to fight here. Ogre in a lot of trouble. There's going to be the X into the Torrent. They're trying to get the damage here, but the blink in by Tavo is going to stun up the Viper. They need to try to take him down, and they will be able to get a lot of damage, but there is King stopping things for now. Reaper Scythe coming in, stopping the Viper in his tracks, and now Kunkka is not going to stand for long. Benches, beautiful vacuum on the 3. King taking a lot of damage. They need to take down this Wisp, but the Wisp is on the back line. Benches is going to stand strong, uses the Eclipse, going on the Tavo, and now they'll try to turn around onto the Necrophos. Disruption is going to keep the Luna alive for now. Can the Necrophos take him down? Yes, he will. But the Luna is also going to help to find the kill. Now the Wisp is being left all alone against King Tekka and the Shadow Demon. King Tekka will chase down the Wisp. Lots of damage onto him. Ion Shell doing a ton. Can King actually get out? King Tekka is going to keep chasing him down. Has the Soul Ring up in 1 second, but does he really want to use it against the balls? King thinking about turning this around. And King is actually going... King Tekka is going to run out. Oh, but we've got the Demonic Purge out on the King RD, making sure that he is not going to go any further on to this. And Cat is here to help out as well. Okay, and Io taking some damage from creeps. That's not terrible, I guess. He's nearly dying to this. But he'll be fine. But that was a pretty good fight. Benchaz standing strong for Infamous. Nearly living if it hadn't been for 40R doing some damage there. Okay, it's not still farming up pretty well. He's kind of stuck in the trees though. He'll get out eventually. 40R is pretty far up in mid. Chasing down a Frost Troll. Ogre Frost Mage. He'll be hit by the Torrent, but that doesn't really look like Infamous are going to be willing to go too much further onto the Necro, especially when there could be a relocate in at any time. There's a wraparound by 40R and Cat. Benchaz could get caught out, which is not what he wants here. Has a Manta style. Has to be careful. Frost Mage is going to scout this out as SG chase down Benchaz. Benchaz, they got to keep him alive. Torrent's going to stop the Ogre there, and the boat is going to zone them out as well. Benchaz just needs to stay alive at this point, as Infamous have already used a lot of their stuff. Oh, Shadow Demon not caught out by the Reaper Scythe, and another Torrent is going to keep him alive for now. Can he run away from this little ball of death? He's going to try to heal up, and he will be able to, actually. Centaur Warrunner getting in the middle of it, stunning out Stinger as Viper gets immediately blown up. Now we've got Eclipse in, and the vacuum on the 3 in the middle of the wall. SG slowed down a lot as the Ogre, now the Centaur, taken out. Kunkka has to stay away from 40R, who has the quite a bit of damage there, as well as the Heartstopper Aura. Ends up being a 2-for-1 in the mid lane, saving Benchaz. They do lose Kataro, but that's really not too much of a surprise if you're Infamous. A little bit of a Chaos Knight illusion, and the Necrophos is kind of hanging out. I still can't use the showcase feature in this mode. Looked like they were having a little bit of fun there. Some kinky action, if you ask me. The Necrophos, really aggressive at mid. Does have the rest of his team backing up. He seems to be just really banking on the fact that he's going to have a Wisp relocate if he ends up being in trouble. Benjaz starting to go in here. SG currently in the Roshan pit, but Infamous don't really seem interested in going to the pit at all. Being zoned out a little bit by Cat. Luna Illusion is going to scout it out. Possibly go in. But the illusion will be taken care of. Infamous starting to make their way over. Viper's nowhere near though. That illusion wreaking havoc for SG. Taking the Ogre within an inch of his life. Torn off the mark though. Pretty much means that Infamous can't really go in. There's going to be a relocate out onto the Viper. Can they kill him off here? He's got to work with the vision. There's going to be a blink and a stomp. Viper uses the Viper strike out on the King. That would probably be who he's able to take down. Trying to do the damage. Is able to find it. And now Tavo's left here alone. Being slowed down. Tavo. He keeps being slowed. And now Viper's been healed up as well. King Tekka running around like a, I don't know, like a motorbike or something. I don't think that motorbikes run. But Tavo's going to be killed. And now HFN. He's alone. Has been killed off. He's trying to armor toggle through this. I don't know if he's going to be able to do so though. X back. And that's the Aegis gone. Centaur getting into the action. Cat has showed his way up here. King Tekka wants to go forward. Eclipse is going to be spent right onto HFN. Slowed down back into the fight. And his armor is not going to be able to get him out of that. Now Cat continue to be chased down by King Tekka. And Infamous. Off of that, just a series of bad decisions by SG. We're going to see a tier 1 taken by Infamous now. Benjaz just looking extremely strong. Shadow Demon Illusion's doing so much. And that Alpha Wolf is going to be cheering on Infamous as they go for the tier 2 tower as well. SG, they can definitely take it to Infamous, but they can't really hold out all that long. They'll make one bad decision going for a Viper that they thought was safe. And it turns out to be a horrible decision for them as Infamous get even closer to having... Well, actually, the net worth is back in their favor now. So... the days of SG are starting to be numbered here as Infamous. They have really started to get back into their own. Some huge vacuum into walls by King Tekka, creating a huge amount of chaos in the fights. And Benjaz just really taking any damage that comes his way. Maybe he gets caught out here. There is the Dire Observer. Benjaz trying to get away. Reality Rift off the mark. They need to keep Benjaz alive. There's going to be a boat stopping things for now. Benjaz takes a lot of damage. Vacuum in the boat. Benjaz still alive. Now he's dead, but now Infamous, they've lost most of their damage. Necrophos is here to heal things up. Reality Rift on the King Tekka. He's being blocked out by Necrophos, and they'll blink forward. Viper's doing some damage on the other side. Ogre's been forced away. King Tekka will surge out. Tavo looking for a blink in the to stun. Wow, blink crush. Someone watched a lot of Swardar recently. But SG with the Luna kill, now they can start to go for this tier 2 tower. And it really just goes to show what SG have to do to win these fights. Just take Benjaz down and all the damage is gone. .40R using the ghost-like presence, and he's gonna get the torrent onto him as well. Can SG reinitiate here? We have Luna respawning in 10 seconds. Maybe Infamous have gone in a little bit too early. .40R still getting a lot of damage, and Kataro is able to help finish off the King kill. King Tekka will be able to find it. Disruption out onto Tavo, who's being surrounded here. HFN, he's been X-backed into the fight as well. They don't even need Benjaz for his damage. They'll kill Tavo. They bring HFN back in. He's trying to put as much damage out as he can, but it's not going to matter. Stinger will stay alive. And that's 4 dead on the side of SG. Infamous turned it right back around. 2,800 gold the way of Infamous. And they'll take a tier 2 tower off the map. Man, this game is just so back and forth, but surprisingly Infamous, they've gotten to the point where Viper's back in the match. being extremely tanky, having the damage with the Dragon Lance, and they want to go high ground now. Lots of Luna illusions will make short work of this tower. Ogre has to do something. He's going to get Force Staff forward into an X. Torrent combo. Is he going to die? King RG trying to heal him up, getting right next to the shrine, but now those glaives are bouncing all around. They need to take care of Banjaz again. The boat will come through. Vacuum right back into it. There it is again. The big damage from Infamous as SG. They've got to get away at this point. King Tekka moving forward. Infamous, no bounds. Super Banjaz, he is super indeed with that BKB. They take the racks and they get away. And again, taking the damage and the fight from SG. They haven't even taken a tier 2 tower top, but Infamous, again, looking just way too strong for the Brazilian side to fight here. SG, it looked like they found it so easy against Duop, but now they're coming up against the wall that is Infamous. Banjaz, he's coming up big here, showing 4DR how to, or rather HFN how to play Luna. And Infamous are starting to make a play for this top tier 2. King Tekka will move forward. 4DR showing up here, but exactly how hard does he want to go on this? He's probably not expecting Infamous to be here at all, but they're very close, and that X combo could just seal their fate. Age is not on the map for at least another 2 minutes as Infamous start to make a lot of illusions around on the top tower, and 4DR has to back up right now. They will go on to anything and anything they see. 2 anythings there. That's how much anything they'll go for. And now Infamous are kind of on to SG. They know that the Chaos Knight and Wisp were starting to push around the map. So they start to just make sure their lanes are pushed out, not allowing SG to go for that relocate across the map. Viper's back to second on the net worth, and look at this Infamous lead, up to 12,500 at this point. And it's only going to continue going up if Infamous win more fights like that. They're starting to group around the bottom tower. They pushed out top pretty well. Now it's time to push out bottom. They've taken all the tier 2s off the map, and look at this. It's a very aggressive TP in from Necrophos. Wants to come in around the side here. Where's the vision here for Infamous? They're not going to see him moving through. Necrophos just weirdly going there. Maybe scouting if Infamous were at the shrine, but they'll send the illusions up to the high ground, just going through the creep wave. Ogre has to take care of them right now. Necrophos goes in, but Shadow Demon is going to make even more illusions, saving them from that death pulse of Necrophos. One sent back over to the base. We'll get the X back. And wow, these illusions of Lone have nearly taken this tier 3 tower. Viper moving forward. So much damage to Cat, and it's going to be 3 hits before he goes down. Now the Rack's in trouble. Ogre doesn't even have buyback. SG would not be fighting at their full force, and they're going to lose another Racks for it. Full set of Racks gone. Chaos Knight and Io trying to do something over at bottom. Stinger's going to take a lot of damage, and will just fall for it. And now Shadow Demon could be in a lot of trouble as well. He will disrupt himself. Luna's going to have to get into this fight. Can they kill off the Shadow Demon? They will surround him with all those illusions. King Tekka in the middle of it. He's got to make some illusions right now. BKB by Banjaz. And the relocate will go away. Over at bottom, Katara trying to go on to 4DR. And, oh, Tavo off the mark with that stun. And, oh, gets the kill. CK into the fight. And Viper's probably going to die. Yeah. Oh, well. Io about to TP away, but it's not going to happen. Banjaz does more than enough damage to get the kill there. And, well, SG got a lot of money off of that, but the threat is still there from Team Infamous. And Roshan is going to respawn in about 2 minutes. King RD and the rest of SG, they're just trying to figure out how to get back in this matchup right now. I was kidding about those shrines earlier. There's still a tier 2 tower top that I kind of forgot about. So Infamous are still going to have to take care of that before they can get a little bit of extra money from the shrines. But I'm not even sure if those shrines are going to go down anytime soon because the Luna Illusion's pushing in top very hard. And any kind of concerted push from Infamous is probably going to mean the death of that tower. Yeah, well, I think Shadow Demon forgot that he had the gem on him to see those words. So those illusions look pretty confused for a couple of seconds. Benjaz in onto the tower, Glaive's going all over the place, and Shadow Demon will make even more illusions of his weird fetish, Luna. So he'll make a couple more images. They'll put an X onto one of the illusions for some reason. They're probably just trolling with that one. Or I guess they were making it so that the Shadow Demon didn't have to go too far to get the disruption off. Now SG want to go in. There's going to be a blink and the stomp onto the Darkseer, and he's going to get disrupted to try to get out of this one. There's the ship going in. Where's that wall combo? It's there. BKB's been popped, though, and Kunkka's being taken. He's taking a lot of damage. Benjaz standing strong still, though. 40R is going to use the, Ghostly Presence, and Benjaz will be smacked down by the Reaper Scythe. Katara's still doing a lot of damage, and he tries to do it the way of 40R, who will just turn around and do some damage back. Pops the blade mail, and well, Benjaz is now at 100 seconds of respawn. So he will have tons of time to think about his mistake. But Infamous, they get caught out, and that's a huge amount of gold going the way of SG. 5,000 net worth change after that last fight. So don't count these guys out of it just yet. Stinger just making it back to base with his life. And the push will come in mid from SG. Benjaz still has 60 seconds left on the respawn. Infamous really cannot afford to lose any more heroes at this point. And it's time for SG to just kind of group up, go around the map. They still have a tier 2 to take down as well. 4 staff away. King will use the Glimmer Cape, and he will juke this. And the Dire will get vision of it as he moves over to the high ground. Cat looking for the range to use the spells. Relocate's going to be there, but the boat will come through as well. It's going to hit right on to him. And that means that Reaper Scythe is not going to end up hitting the Torrent, keeping King alive a little bit longer. Stinger underneath that Sentry Ward, though. The Glimmer Cape will help him no longer. But he's still giving the Luna more time to respawn, I guess. Leading SG on a merry chase. Also, creeps are pushing into the base as well. That shrine is already down in bottom as well. So if they don't take care of those creeps, SG are going to find their base disappearing fast enough. It's not Infamous starting to group up around this shrine. King Tekka possibly being the bait for them. But SG aren't really seeing this at all. Benjaz surged forward. It's time for them to go for Roshan. And SG are ready for this. Kunkka will respawn in 10 seconds. Infamous short-handed for that amount of time, but he can easily TP over to the shrine when he gets back up, which he is now. Roshan taking a lot of damage from this. Benjaz going in for some good damage, and he will be able to find the Aegis. It's a good tool for Infamous to have for these fights. We'll give Benjaz 1 extra life as they try to take down SG's base. First making sure the lanes are pushed out. CK and I are most likely going to go maybe to bottom. Maybe you could push up mid a little bit more. Just want to get at least one lane pushing so that Infamous might lose something if they go too hard for a fight. But they're actually just going to all go together. 5-man smoke going through the jungle. Infamous a little bit split up at this point. Stinger could get caught out. Benjez maybe moving up a little bit too far. He can't get blown up here. And, oh, Shadow Demon. He's going to get the disruption off on the Luna. Kunkka taken down immediately as Infamous. They got to get away from this one right now. Kotaro taking the focus. He's going to get the reality, but we have the vacuum on the 4. The wall's there as well. Benjez trying to do some damage. He has to come up big right now. Cat, he's taking a lot of damage as well. Oh, Shadow Demon. He's been caught out so hard. 40 trying to do as much damage as possible. Gem is on the ground. Benjez, he's going to get cut out. That is life number 1. Now there's a Chaos Knight illusion here as well. Chaos Knight is so tanky with the Heart of Tarask as SG. They're going to surround him. Benjez has to get away. King Tekka. Oh, he's not going to be able to do anything right now as Benjez takes his second death. Gem left on the ground. No one wants to pick it up. Infamous can't crack this wall. And there's going to be the relocate as well. Oh, King just looking for the rune, but King Tekka possibly saw his life flash before his eyes there. And the base is completely unscathed for SG. They're keeping their tier 3 tower up. They're keeping their heroes alive. They're winning these fights big. Someone else from Infamous is going to have to step up. Just turns into one pickoff, and SG can win a team fight pretty easily from that point. Net worth is going back in favor. Oh, King Tekka doing some harass over to King RD. There's a lot of kings in the Prodota Cup. We had Snake King earlier. Oh, blink in by Shadow Demon. He wants to make some illusions of HFN. And they're going to be very tanky illusions as well. Chaos Knight trying to fight himself. Those illusions are going to try to push out the mid lane as well. This is what happens when you have strong illusion opponents. HFN, he's taking a lot of damage from it. He's going to heal up pretty well, though. SG very quickly clear through those creeps in the mid lane. Let's see what SG can do with a push. Buybacks are up for Ogre and Centaur, but no one else on the Dire. HFN sees a few heroes. They're going to actually use a charge to go onto the top lane. King Tekka could get cut out. That's going to be the reality rift onto him. He'll use the surge to try to get away, but the Eye is coming here as well. Torrent is going to put the CK up in the air. Meanwhile, elsewhere, we've got a Necrophos doing some damage over to Viper. He'll just flop on his way to the ground. And that is the only one that they lose, but it's a pretty big kill because this Viper does not have buyback. He's trying to buy up an Assault Cuirass. Stinger is still pushing in the top lane. And Aya's kind of mirroring him a little bit. Stinger does have to be careful. And he doesn't see a whole lot of the jungle, so it's got to be just one creep wave and then gone, but it might not even be that. Looking to clear it out, he'll force staff forward. And actually, Infamous looking for a little bit more. King Tekka going to go forward, looking for 40R. He's going to get the Shiva's Guard. There's also the Demonic Purge. 40R in a lot of trouble. He'll use the Crimson Guard, try to turn this around, doing some damage over to the Shadow Demon. And, well, SG are going to try to respawn. We've got a Blink possible. Or rather, Eclipse used, and the BKB. I don't know how long 40R is going to stay alive for that. Oh, the Lucent Beam has to be soon. Vacuum back. 40R is dead. But into the middle of the fight, they've got some Chaos Knight Illusions fighting Chaos Knight Illusions. Shadow Demon trying to get away. He's going to go Scepter and Force Staff out. The balls are going to be hitting him in the face, though. He has to make his way over towards the top, as Infamous don't really want to fight all that much anymore. Tavo, he's super tanky. Stinger could get caught out. Tavo wants to get that stomp off. King Tekka, he's getting stunned as well, and he doesn't have a vacuum or anything. He was just kind of standing there. Boat doesn't hit onto much. Benjez still has to back away, and that would be a big prize for SG to get. Can they kill Benjez? Not just yet. Stinger goes over to the side, and he's going to get the Reality Rift there, eventually killing him off. But there is havoc inside the SG base. These tier 4 towers do regenerate, so this damage really isn't all that big of a deal. One of the changes in 7.00. And SG continue to take these fights where Infamous just can't really get through the health of a team that has one Heart of Tarask and one tanky Chaos or Centaur Warrunner. And now Centaur is going to find Kitaro here. He says, hey, I've got to relocate for you guys. Kitaro makes his way to a tier 2 tower. So Viper will find himself alive for a little bit longer. And that net worth continues to go the way of SG here. Infamous lose fight after fight. They need to get some more items up. Viper really can't afford to die that fast. And only Benjaz has a BKB at this point. Darkseer doesn't have a Lotus Orb or anything. It just seems like Infamous are kind of skimping on the survivability items right now. I mean, sure, they have Darkseer with the mechanism, a Pipe of Insight, and the Shivas, but it doesn't really seem to be too effective at saving people right now. And Viper's got to be careful on the mid lane. That's going to be a relocate in. Katara goes in the trees, uses a Crimson Guard. HFN is going to find a huge amount of damage. Katara has no way of staying alive, and just one crit at the end is going to finish him off. Again, Infamous losing a hero off the map that they really can't afford to. SG possibly looking for another gank on top. With that Viper down, Infamous, they've got to be super careful here. And, well, HFN is going to find a creep. They'll make some more illusions of Luna, trying to get those up. And actually, the Centaur Warner, he will get the charge through. Looking for more. King Tekka gets the blink away. He gets stuck in some creeps, though. And Tavo is still looking for that stomp. Torrent off the mark. King Tekka, oh, he stayed there way too long. Now he hits with the Reaper Scythe, just manages to take a little bit more damage. There's the Ghost Scepter trying to get away, but he's been stunned up as well. That Surge is not going to get him out of trouble this time around. And it must have been lag or something, because there was no reason for the Darkseer to be standing there. Does have buyback. Infamous still think that they should have the advantage in this game, but they're not really able to find any fights right now. And they're also kind of at a point where the more health they get, the easier it is for Necrophos to take them down. Aya getting a little bit stronger. Chaos Knight picking up some more items. Selling some away. Viper nearly at his... Well, he's getting closer to his Assault Cuirass, which he is taking quite a while to build at this point with all of his deaths. Benjaz picks up a Daedalus. Will that actually turn the tide of the fight? They need something to get through the HP of Chaos Knight, and that might be it. Tavo, he's going to get in, but he's been X'd away, and as soon as he goes for a Blinken, he's going to be X'd right back by Stinger. Nice heads up play by him. Couple of Luna illusions going around the map right now. Oh, Blade Mail. But Necrophos still takes a lot of damage from that. And I guess the little crits sounding pretty cool. King Tekka getting a little bit far forward is scoured out by a Dire Observer as the smoke goes in bottom from Infamous. They're looking for that Chaos Knight and Io elsewhere. The bottom tower does go down as a result of this. Neither team really has gone for the shrines just yet. Now they both have access to it, with all the tier 2 towers being off the map. And Infamous really need to find a way to take care of the Chaos Knight at this point. Aya would definitely help as well. And ST will make their way out of the base once again. Roshan, he's up this time with Cheese. And SG, they are ready to pick up another Aegis on their team. Tavo into the pit. He'll scout it out for his team, and he'll even stir it up for him. Lots of vision of Infamous at this point. Kunkka's going to have the X on himself, looking for some scouting. Actually just trying to get a ward down. Gets it down pretty deep, but now, oh, Shadow Demon, he's been caught out again, and Karo might be the next target for Staff over, gonna slow down Kataro, and he's been caught out as well. There's the Reaper Scythe, and he is killed off, down for 115 seconds. And he doesn't have buyback. Again, Infamous just getting caught out, and this time it is SG pushing up to the high ground. Tier 3 tower in a lot of trouble. And I just see no way for Infamous to get through Chaos Knight's health at this point. Benjaz doesn't have an Aegis. He doesn't have a whole lot of friends at this point. And SG, they are ready to keep getting the control. They'll go for tier 4s. They smell victory in the water. HFN, there's no way to deal with them. They have a ton of illusions. King Tekka will get the vacuum in the wall, but I don't know if this damage is going to be enough. Benjes trying to come up big with the Eclipse. He's going to throw all the glaives that he can, but Stinger, he can't put in much. He gets crit down by the Chaos Knight, who's barely taking a scratch at this point. King Tekka in the middle of everything. Now Shadow Demon, he will get back to the fight. Oh, Blade Mail doing a huge amount of damage to Benjes. He's going to pop the Manta style. Benjes in trouble. He's got a buyback available. Have to use it now, but the base, it's in trouble. SG looking for game number 2 of this one. We've got to disconnect. It's just going to be it. Infamous say, that's it. We're not going to play this any longer. We'll go to a game 3 up against you guys. Infamous will just not be able to get this Chaos Knight down in the end. Way too tanky when paired with the Wisp, and that might be leading up to an IO ban or an IO take by Infamous in game number 3. We'll have to see how that affects the draft, but SG come right back into it. They show that strength that they were showing against Duop, and they come back and win game 2 of the best of 3. So that means that we have a little bit more Dota 2 for you guys to watch tonight, and I get to play ads a little bit more. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope to join you for game number 3 starting in just a few moments on the same channel. And you might want to get a drink or something because it's going to be a long one.
changes.
Life. Life.
Handily as they met before in the upper bracket, but now in the lower bracket we are at one game apiece, and this is going to be the deciding game to see who will go and face Team Freedom in the grand final. Team Freedom will have a one-game advantage when they get there, so it is already a tough road, but these teams, they are going to try to continue on the journey because one of them will be knocked out after this game. SG, they immediately go for the Rubik and Juggernaut to start out the draft. IO hasn't been banned out at all, but apparently that is not really being worried about by either team, as Infamous get the Slaughter and Luna to start off. So we'll have to see where their draft goes from here. SG continuing to ban out the quite a few King Tekka heroes. They take out the Batrider as well as the Abyssal Underlord now. And Infamous will take out the IO with their third ban. Continue on along the lines of taking the Weaver out with their first ban, which has been shown to be pretty strong for SG, a hero that they definitely like to play quite a lot for HFN. SG also took out the Undying from Infamous, a hero that Excel definitely likes to play quite a bit. And with that Luna picked up, it's pretty obvious that SG need to take the Shadow Demon, which was shown to be pretty strong in combination with the Luna in the last match. So that'll bring us up to our next group of picks for the teams. Infamous, they're going to have to look for a couple supports now that should bolster their carries quite a bit. I think the Slardar does quite a lot of work with the control, but without being paired with the Life Stealer, SG are going to have to be wondering if it's indeed going to be a Kinteka Slardar, or if again Infamous are going to run it in the support role, which did happen in game number 1. So working pretty well through our draft right now. SG taking a little bit of time to think about this third pickup. Definitely needs something to go along with the Juggernaut. Ogre Magi hasn't been banned out just yet, and I highly doubt that SG are going to want to give that hero over to Infamous. So I would think that that hero is going to be picked up in the next couple of picks here. It's definitely got a really high priority for the teams. SG are going to go for the Clockwork first. Something that was banned out in the last match could work pretty well with the Rubik. You got to lift into a automatic pushback, and yeah, Infamous go immediately for the Ogre Magi. I guess you can, if you can get right on top of the Luna, things don't really matter as much if she has all the attack speed in the world. She could probably attack herself to death if the Clockwork has a blade mail in there as well. So SG let Infamous pick up the Ogre Magi. Definitely a very strong support for them to have. Not sure how well this Clockwork is going to work out for SG. Like I said, it could do well with the Rubik. Got a lot of different types of control there. Pretty sure Clogs, and okay, SG go for a Bloodseeker here. I was kind of wondering when we would see another one of these just pop up. Should do okay against Luna. Force her to fight the Bloodseeker, which is definitely exactly what he wants. Has to be careful that she doesn't try to turn it around on him with the Eclipse, but Bloodseeker definitely does a lot with the Rupture. I'm just kind of worried that SG are picking up a few heroes that, while might be good played by the individual players and actual team play, might not actually be all that great. Like Bloodseeker, sure, you can do on the early game, but when heroes start to get up a whole lot of damage and they're ahead of him, the Bloodseeker generally doesn't do all that well. Clockwork can definitely tend to fall behind. Juggernaut should be able to farm pretty well, but the Juggernaut by himself might really not be the best thing for SG to go for here. And they are mostly melee at this point. So that Bloodseeker definitely going to give Infamous a few things to think about as they keep going through the draft. Which heroes can take advantage of that one the most? You need ways to stun him out of fights. Make sure that he's not able to get his HP back. Control the Bloodseeker so when he does rupture you, you're able to just stand and fight and not really worry about his damage as much. He's probably going to go for an early Blade Mail as well. I feel like SG, they have a couple of heroes that can do pretty well with that item, such that Benjaz just might start taking way too much damage because of it. Let's go with the Kataro Storm Spirit here. I guess could do okay against the Bloodseeker if you move far enough. You don't take as much damage from, or you don't take damage from the Rupture. As long as Storm Spirit doesn't get too caught out up next to the Battery Assault of Clockwork, he should be able to move around these fights pretty well. There is some control for him, but Katara is generally fairly good on that hero. And it's definitely one of the feared heroes for Katara to be on. So that'll bring us to the last phase of banning here between the two teams. SG, they're probably going to be looking for, well, they could go for another offlaner or might pick up a support. I would guess they're kind of going to be forced into putting either someone melee in the mid lane, or they're going to be playing Bloodseeker Clockwork as a support. And then Infamous, they just need to get another support in their lineup as well. So definitely a lot more choices that you could go for that. And SG decide not to ban anyone. I don't know if that was an actual choice from them. But they did not ban anyone with their last ban there. They ran out of time. So it's a little bit surprising. Maybe Infamous are just, I don't know, too good at picking that SG don't really care who they ban here. Infamous take the Viper out of the lineup and they will just go for their last pick up here. It does mean that SG don't really have as much time for their last pick. They're down to the usual about 30 seconds that you get by default. So, Infamous down to their last pick. Have to pick up a support here. Unless they have a Slardar support, and they'll just go for something else. But I don't really know if that's going to be the case. Going double melee support doesn't really seem like the best idea. And then SG confident, I guess, enough to... Infamous go with an Omni Knight. I hope that wasn't randomed as well. Well, I guess an Omni Knight could work very well with the Storm Spirit. You could put the repel on him.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So SG will just go with the Puck to round out their lineup. So one of these, I guess it's going to be a Clockwork support possibly. It's either Clockwork or Bloodseeker support. They're going to put Puck in the mid lane up against the Storm Spirit. And I guess we'll... Guess we'll have to see how SG decide to play this. Definitely excited to see a couple of these new heroes out. Omni Knight definitely hasn't been played too much in this series. Now there's Storm Spirit and nearly all new heroes for SG.
5 seconds remaining.
So here we are getting into game number 3, the final deciding game. And okay. Looks like we're going to have a remake here. Looks like the draft got a little bit borked. I'm gonna go to break while they try to figure this out. So just listen to some music or something. kinda said they were doing the same band, so it really shouldn't take all that much time. Oh, they disconnected. I don't know if this is gonna work out. I guess we'll just keep an eye on this just to see if they connect again. But currently all of SG have disconnected from the draft. So since we already saw most of it, I guess Infamous are leaving too a little bit. I'll just go back to the break screen because nothing's going to happen with this draft. So I don't know if this thing is happening or not. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Hopefully the internet comes back to stability for SG, but we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening.
I'm running away. You're in a toxic relationship. Time to be free.